Today, we're diving into the rich tapestry of history and heritage that makes Williamsburg, Virginia, such a unique place to live. In this video, we'll explore the 20 historic names you need to know. Whether you're a local resident or considering making Williamsburg your home, these names are woven into the fabric of our daily lives. From streets to neighborhoods, to schools, parks, and historic sites, each name carries a story that connects us to the past and enriches our present. I'll take you on a journey through the origins and significance of names like Duke of Gloucester, Patrick Henry, Lafayette, and many more. You'll discover how these names are more than just labels. They're windows into the history of Williamsburg, honoring influential figures, Native American heritage, and the ties that bind us to both the old world and the birth of our nation. So let's get started and uncover the fascinating stories behind the names you see every day in Williamsburg, Virginia. Welcome back to Moving to Hampton Roads. My name is David Tortellini, and I live here in Williamsburg, where I help people just like you buy and sell homes throughout southeastern Virginia. Before we get started, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can be alerted whenever I post a new video. Okay, let's get into it. I want to start in the heart of colonial Williamsburg, with a number of the larger streets that run through the city. So let's get it going with Duke of Gloucester Street, or Dog Street as we affectionately refer to it. This is the main road running straight through colonial Williamsburg, from Merchant Square to the Capitol building. If you've ever visited colonial Williamsburg, you've surely strolled down this road or been in and out of the colonial shops and taverns. When people think of colonial Williamsburg, this is the street they're most often thinking of. Most people are very surprised to find out that Duke of Gloucester Street was named after Prince William Henry, Duke of Gloucester in Edinburgh, who died at just 11 years old. He was born on July 24th, 1689, and died on July 30th, 1700. Prince William Henry was the son of Princess Anne, who later became Queen of England, Ireland, and Scotland, and has a very prominent road named after her in Virginia Beach, and her husband, Prince George of Denmark. He was their only child to survive infancy and second in line to the throne after his mother. The Duke suffered from health issues throughout his entire childhood, including hydrocephalus, a condition in which an accumulation of cerebrospinal fluid occurs within the brain, which would have eventually killed him had he not succumbed to an acute bacterial pharyngitis with associated pneumonia, according to modern diagnosis. Next up are Francis Street and Nicholson Street, which run parallel to Duke of Gloucester Street. Nicholson 1 block to the north, and Francis Street 1 block to the south. These roads are named after Francis Nicholson, who served as the governor of Virginia from 1698 to 1705. Nicholson played a significant role in the planning and development of Williamsburg, including the layout of the city and the establishment of the College of William and Mary. Nicholson was an important figure in colonial Virginia, advocating for the move of the capital from Jamestown to Williamsburg. His efforts helped shape the city's early development and its role as the political and cultural capital of colonial Virginia. You may know the name Prince George from your time in colonial Williamsburg. If you've ever sat down for a cup of coffee at Aroma's or parked in the Prince George Street parking garage, Prince George Street is a fairly small but often traveled road in colonial Williamsburg, located on the backside of Merchant Square, and then it makes a small turn and heads towards Scotland Street. Amber Ox, Bluetown Bistro, Kilwin's Ice Cream, and the Peanut Shop also all call this street home, making it one of the best food destinations in all of Williamsburg. Prince George of Denmark, who we mentioned earlier, married Princess Anne, the future queen, and was granted the title Duke of Cumberland. Prince George was known more for his affable nature and personal support of Queen Anne than his politics. He did serve as Lord High Admiral and General and fulfilled his duties with diligence despite suffering from asthma and other health issues. Botetourt Street cuts right through the center of colonial Williamsburg and connects Francis Street to Lafayette Street. It's a small road compared to some of the others we've spoken about, but when in colonial Williamsburg, you can't miss it. That name certainly stands out, especially since no one can pronounce it. You'll find this name scattered throughout Virginia, including a county outside of Roanoke and an elementary school in Gloucester. Now, is Botetourt the correct pronunciation? Absolutely not. It's French and is more like Botetourt. But here in Williamsburg and the Hampton Roads region, it's Botetourt. The name comes from Norborne Berkeley, 4th Baron Botetourt, and yes, I'm going to keep saying Botetourt, commonly known as Lord Botetourt, who served as the royal governor of Virginia from 1768 until his death in 1770. Appointed during a turbulent period leading up to the American Revolution, Lord Botetourt was highly regarded for his fair and effective governance. He sought to bridge the growing divide between the American colonies and the British Crown by addressing colonial grievances and promoting economic development. His popularity and efforts to foster goodwill made him a beloved figure among Virginians. And for his hard work and dedication, we continue to pronounce his title incorrectly for all of eternity. If you're driving into Colonial Williamsburg off Route 199, then there's a good chance you're going to take South Henry Street directly into town. Henry Street will take you right past Bicentennial Park and the Folk Art Museum on your right, and local favorites like Precarious Beer Project on your left. This is the road you cross when leaving Merchant Square to head for a walk down Duke of Gloucester Street. It also provides access to many of the integrated surface parking lots. Henry Street was named after Patrick Henry, who was born in Hanover County, Virginia, and is best known for his powerful speeches and fervent advocacy for American independence. In 1765, as a young lawyer, Patrick Henry was elected to the Virginia House of Burgesses, which met in Williamsburg. It was here in the House of Burgesses that Henry delivered his famous Virginia Resolve speech against the Stamp Act, declaring that only the Virginia Assembly had the right to tax Virginians. Perhaps Henry's most famous moment came in 1775 at the Second Virginia Convention, held in Richmond, where he passionately argued for armed resistance against British tyranny, culminating in his immortal words, "Give me liberty or give me death." Henry also served multiple terms as the governor of Virginia. You'll see his name throughout the Hampton Roads and Richmond regions, including schools, parks, and the Patrick Henry Mall in Newport News. That brings us to America's favorite fightin' Frenchman, the Marquis de Lafayette. Lafayette Street is a prominent road on the north side of Colonial Williamsburg, running directly behind the Governor's Palace, connecting York Street and Richmond Road. You'll also see his name attached to Lafayette High School, home of the Mighty Rams in James City County. Lafayette was a French aristocrat and military officer who played a crucial role in the American Revolutionary War. Inspired by the American struggle for independence, Lafayette sailed to America in 1777 at the age of 19, despite orders from King Louis XVI to stay in France. Lafayette quickly earned the trust of General George Washington, becoming a close confidant and valued advisor. He participated in several key battles, including the Battle of Brandywine and the Siege of Yorktown, where his leadership and strategic acumen were instrumental in securing American victory. After the war, Lafayette returned to France, where he played a significant role in the French Revolution and in the drafting of the Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen. Lafayette's enduring legacy is celebrated in both the US and France, and his name has become a symbol of friendship between the two nations. Next up is a name you'll know if you visited Colonial Williamsburg and noticed the large church right on Duke of Gloucester Street, Bruton Parish Church, which was built starting in 1674 and completed in 1683, making it the oldest building in Colonial Williamsburg. Located among the shops and taverns, Bruton Parish Church is open for both guided and self-guided tours and maintains a regular worship schedule, as it is a fully active church. Bruton Church is also a very popular stop on the Colonial Williamsburg Ghost Tour. And if you have kids in the York County School District section of Williamsburg, you'll become very familiar with the name because Bruton High School is the name of the high school for Northern York County. According to the Bruton Parish Church website, in 1644, Harrop Parish in James City County became active, and it united with Middle Plantation Parish in 1658 to form Middletown Parish. Still more consolidation followed in 1674 when Marston Parish in York County merged with Middletown Parish to form Bruton Parish. The name honored the prominent Ludwell family and Governor Sir William Berkeley, whose ancestral homes were at Bruton in County Somerset, England. So that's where we get the name Bruton. Let's move to the western edge of Colonial Williamsburg and talk about the College of William and Mary. William and Mary was chartered on February 8, 1693 by King William III and Queen Mary II, making it the second oldest institution of higher learning in the United States. The college was established to educate the youth of the colony, particularly to prepare them for ministry in the Church of England and for governance in the colony. Notable alumni include 3 U.S. presidents, Thomas Jefferson, James Monroe, and John Tyler, numerous Supreme Court justices, and other influential figures in American history. Modern graduates include comedians Jon Stewart and Patton Oswalt, actress Glenn Close, and Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin. Currently, William & Mary is home to over 9,500 students, 6,500 undergrad, and 3,000 postgrad. King William III, who lived from 1650 to 1702, and Queen Mary II, who lived from 1662 to 1694, were joint monarchs of England, Scotland, and Ireland. They ascended to the throne in 1689 following the Glorious Revolution, which led to the overthrow of Mary's father, King James II. Their reign marked the beginning of a constitutional monarchy in England, significantly reducing the powers of the monarchy and increasing the powers of Parliament. This period also saw the passage of the Bill of Rights in 1689, which laid the foundation for modern parliamentary democracy and civil liberties. Now, if you're connecting the dots, you may also be wondering if Williamsburg is named after the same King William, and you would be correct. The city of Williamsburg was originally founded as Middle Plantation in 1632, and in 1699, when the capital of the Virginia colony was moved from Jamestown to Middle Plantation, it was renamed Williamsburg in his honor. Next up is America's 10th president, John Tyler. If you live in the Jamestown area, then you're going to see this name a lot, because it's the other name for Route 5 running west from 199 until the name changes to New Market Road about halfway between Williamsburg and Richmond. John Tyler Highway is a mostly residential route, with many neighborhoods like Brandon Woods, Westray Downs, and Governor's Land all located off this road. You'll also see that the Capitol Trail, the 51-mile bike trail from Jamestown to Richmond, mostly runs alongside John Tyler. A couple other highlights of John Tyler are the Riverside Surgery Center, the Coffee House, which is located in the same plaza as Food Line Grocery Store, and my personal favorite spot, Spoke and Art, which is located on the corner of John Tyler and Green Springs Road. John Tyler was born just a few miles outside of Williamsburg in Charles City County in 1790, and was known as a steadfast advocate for states' rights and strict adherence to the Constitution. Before his presidency, Tyler served Virginia as a state legislator, governor, U.S. representative, and U.S. senator. Tyler may be best known for becoming the first vice president to ascend to the presidency upon the death of a sitting president, William Henry Harrison, in 1841. This was met with skepticism and opposition, as many believed, including some in his own party, that he didn't have a right to the presidency. Tyler's insistence on assuming full powers of the presidency established important precedents for presidential succession and the interpretation of the vice president's role. After leaving the presidency, Tyler continued to be an active participant in Virginia politics. During the secession crisis preceding the Civil War, Tyler championed Virginia's right to secede from the Union and played a pivotal role in the Confederate States formation, even serving in the Confederate House of Representatives at the time of his death in 1862. That brings us to Monticello. This is a name you'll see throughout Williamsburg, and most notably on Monticello Ave. Monticello Ave is known for its shopping and dining. Monticello Marketplace is home to Target, Publix, TJ Maxx, restaurants like Honey Butters and La Terrazza, and much more. Home Goods, World Market, Trader Joe's, and the Walmart Neighborhood Market are just down the street in Settlers Market, which connects to Newtown, the region's premier live, play, work destination, where you'll find a large variety of shops, restaurants, entertainment, local businesses, and a variety of housing options. West, past all the shopping, you'll find great neighborhoods like Powhatan Secondary and Monticello Woods, along with the pickleball mecca of Veterans Park and the fantastic Kidsburg Playground. Monticello is the name of the renowned estate of Thomas Jefferson, located just under 2 hours from Williamsburg near Charlottesville, Virginia. Designed and built by Jefferson himself over a span of 40 years, Monticello exemplifies the neoclassical architectural style and reflects his interest in art, horticulture, and innovation. The estate, which served as his primary residence, also functioned as a working plantation and a center for intellectual and political discourse. Monticello offers a window into Jefferson's complex life, encompassing his role as the third president of the United States, author of the Declaration of Independence, and a fervent advocate for democracy and education. Today, Monticello is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a museum that attracts visitors from around the world, providing insight into Jefferson's contributions to American history and his profound influence on the nation's cultural and architectural heritage. If you're a resident of Williamsburg, an avid golfer, or have started house hunting in the area, you're probably at least a little familiar with Kingsmill. Kingsmill is one of the largest neighborhoods in Williamsburg and is home to 3 golf courses offering a full resort experience with spa, fitness center, lazy river, fine dining, and other great amenities. With over 2,500 homes, Kingsmill offers a wide variety of housing options, from condos to townhomes through luxury waterfront mansions. Some condos can even be placed in the Kingsmill in-house short-term rental program. Kingsmill is a large and beautiful neighborhood for people in all stages of life. But where did the name come from? About a decade after colonists first arrived in Jamestown, Richard Kingsmill, a prominent member of the Virginia Company of London, settled on Kingsmill's first 300 acres. Following Kingsmill, the property was owned by Kingsmill's grandson, Colonel Lewis Burwell III, whose name still features prominently in the neighborhood. Burwell was a member of the Governor's Council, the first elected legislative assembly in the New World. He named Kingsmill Plantation after his grandfather. The Plantation House was a grand 4,800 square foot 2-story manor that overlooked the James River. The plantation also included 2 brick dependencies, a coach house, dairy, stable, barn, and 2 wells. The manor was destroyed by fire in 1846. Today, one of the brick dependencies and the original garden steps remain. Now, if you enjoy having clean drinking water and a vast supply of it, then you may be interested to know that many Williamsburg residents get their water from the Waller Mill Reservoir, which is located between Richmond Road, up near the Outlet Mall, and I-64. The reservoir is part of Waller Mill Park, which offers recreational opportunities such as hiking, fishing, and boating, and is easily accessible via Airport Road. Waller Mill Reservoir and Park was named after Colonel John Waller, an influential figure in the early history of Virginia colony. Colonel Waller was a prominent landowner and a member of the Virginia House of Burgesses. The Waller family played a significant role in the development and settlement of the area around Williamsburg. Now let's get into some of the town names, starting with Toano. James City County is made up of several unincorporated towns or regions, one of which is Toano. Toano is located on the northern end of James City County. This is where you'll find neighborhoods like Stonehouse, Whitehall, and Wellington Estates. Mostly residential or rural, you won't find too much in terms of industry in Toano. The name Toano is derived from a Native American word meaning high ground. It is believed to have come from the Powhatan or Algonquin language, which was spoken by the indigenous tribes of the region, including the Powhatan Confederacy. The name reflects the geography of the area, which is characterized by its elevated terrain relative to the rest of the Virginia Peninsula. Just south of Toano is Norge. Similar to Toano, Norge is mostly residential and has a bit more of a small town country feel than most of the rest of Williamsburg. Norge, however, is a great example of locals Americanizing a name and in turn losing the history behind it. Norge was formally established in 1904 by Norwegian Americans and other Scandinavians. When it came to naming the region, Foster was the first suggestion. Foster was the name of a house that stood near the railroad tracks. Norway was another suggestion, but that was vetoed due to the moniker already having been assigned to another post office. So the town settled on the Norwegian spelling of Norway, Norge. However, the town's first residents used a Norwegian pronunciation, Norge, and over time, the name was Americanized. Maybe this video can be a catalyst for us reverting back to the original and proper pronunciation of Norge, which I, for one, greatly prefer. We have to talk about James, as in Jamestown, James City County, and the James River. Of course, you know Jamestown as the first permanent English settlement in the Americas, founded in 1607. If you've visited, you've most likely visited Jamestown Settlement and the Jamestown Museum. Outside of that, Jamestown is an unincorporated town or region in James City County. It's largely residential and is a wonderful place to live. That's where I live. James City County was formally created in 1634 and encompasses the land to the north and west of Williamsburg and is home to approximately 78,000 residents. And finally, the James River flows from the Appalachian Mountains through the city of Richmond and along the western bank of James City County and Newport News until it meets with the Chesapeake Bay. So who was James? Well, James refers to King James I. King James was born on June 19, 1566 in Edinburgh, Scotland, as James VI of Scotland. He was the son of Mary, Queen of the Scots, and Henry Stuart, Lord of Darnley. In 1603, following the death of Queen Elizabeth I, James ascended to the English throne, becoming King James I of England. His ascension unified the crowns of Scotland and England. King James granted the charter for the Virginia Company to establish the colony at Jamestown, and thus, everything is named after him. One name that you'll find throughout Hampton Roads, one that most visitors and new residents often struggle pronouncing, is Powhatan. Here in Williamsburg, you'll see this name attached to hiking trails and waterways, resorts, and many subdivisions. There really isn't anywhere you can go where you won't run into the word Powhatan. So where does this name come from? The Powhatan were a confederacy of Algonquin-speaking Native American tribes who lived in the coastal plain of Virginia, the eastern shore of the Chesapeake Bay, and southern Maryland. The confederacy was formed by Chief Hummelsine, also known as Powhatan, shortly before the English colonists arrived in 1607. The Powhatan were made up of around 30 tribes and had a population of roughly 14,000 people. The name Powhatan means waterfall in Algonquin, and was likely named after Chief Hummelsine hometown, which was near a waterfall. There are now 11 tribes recognized by the Commonwealth of Virginia, 8 of whom are Powhatan descended. About 3,400 people are currently tribal members of these 8 Powhatan-descended tribes. Staying with the local native tribes, let's talk about the river that divides James City County and Charles City County, the Chickahominy. Locals and visitors alike spend time along the Chickahominy at the Chickahominy Riverfront Park, where they can enjoy kayaking, a swimming pool, camping, fishing, history, biking, and picnic areas. The name Chickahominy comes from a member tribe of the Powhatan Confederacy of the same name. Chickahominy is derived from their Algonquin language and is thought to mean coarse ground corn people, reflecting their agricultural lifestyle. These people lived along the Chickahominy River for its fertile land, along with hunting and fishing. They were among the first tribes to encounter the English settlers when they arrived in the early 17th century. We've mentioned a few other names that are connected to local schools, but there's one school in the area whose name stands out from the rest and ties back to the local native culture, and that's Matoaka Elementary in James City County. We may have to do another video one day on all the school names, but for now, we'll stick with Matoaka, which is considered by many to be among the best elementary schools in all of Hampton Roads. You'll also see this name in 2 additional locations in the College Woods just west of William and Mary campus, Matoaka Lake and Matoaka Trails, a 10-mile trail system that can be accessed from campus or several other locations in the surrounding area, including Berkeley Middle School. But of course, this is another name we've Americanized. The correct pronunciation is Matoaka, and Matoaka is the birth name of none other than Pocahontas. Pocahontas was born around 1596 to Chief Powhatan, the leader of the Powhatan Confederacy in what is now Virginia. Her given name, Matoaka, means bright stream between the hills, but she was often called Pocahontas, meaning playful one or mischievous one. Known most famously for her interactions with Captain John Smith, of which many stories have been told, she eventually married the tobacco planter John Rolfe in April of 1614 at the age of about 17 or 18, and she gave birth to their son, Thomas Rolfe, in January of 1615. Prior to marriage, Pocahontas had converted to Christianity and took the name Rebecca. Unfortunately, she died several years after giving birth at just 21 years old. And we're going to finish up with 2 more local roads, the first of which is Penniman. If you live in the northern York County section of Williamsburg, you're going to become very familiar with Penniman Road. Magruder Elementary is on this road, and it's one of the primary routes to popular neighborhoods like Highgrove, Creekside Landing, and Queens Lake. Penniman runs from the Colonial Parkway outside the Naval Supply Center Cheatham Annex into the city of Williamsburg, where it connects to Page Street. Penniman is more than just a road. At one time, it was an entire unincorporated town in York County, named after Russell Sylvanus Penniman, an American chemist and inventor. Penniman is best known for inventing ammonium nitrate-based explosives. Penniman, Virginia was established during World War I as a company town by DuPont. It served as a munitions manufacturing site, producing artillery shells for the war effort, designed for 10,000 workers and 15,000 residents. However, after the war ended, the demand for munitions decreased, and the town was eventually abandoned. Years later, the land was taken over by the military and is now part of the aforementioned Cheatham Annex. Our final name for today is Hummelsine. Route 199, also known as the Hummelsine Parkway, loops around Williamsburg through James City County. If you live in James City County, east of Norge, it's almost certain that you live somewhere off of 199. It's important to note that no one, and I mean no one, refers to 199 as the Hummelsine Parkway, but it's on the sign on 64, so we're going to talk about it. Carlisle Hubbell Hummelsine was an American diplomat and military officer who served as the Assistant Secretary of State for Administration from 1950 to 1953. Born in Hagerstown, Maryland, Hummelsine graduated from the University of Maryland in 1937. During World War II, he reached the rank of full colonel at 29, earning the Distinguished Service Medal and the Bronze Star. In 1958, he began a 27-year tenure as president, then chairman of Colonial Williamsburg. Under his leadership, Williamsburg became one of America's most popular historic attractions. Hummelsine was chairman of the National Trust for Historic Preservation and a trustee for the National Geographic Society, National Gallery of Art, and Smithsonian Institution. And those are the 20 names you need to know when living in Williamsburg, Virginia. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it as fascinating to watch as I did to make it. Because in all honesty, I didn't know much about some of these names before I started doing my research for it. This was just as much an excuse for me to learn as much as it was an opportunity to share this knowledge with you. But I know I have a lot of history buffs who watch the channel, so please let me know in the comments below, what did I miss, what did I get wrong, or if you can expand on anything and tell us something unique about these historical figures. I would love for you to do that. Of course, it would also make me very happy if you shared this video with anyone you know who loves Williamsburg or is planning a move to the area. Then like this video and subscribe for more content about Williamsburg and the Hampton Roads area. And if you're thinking about a move to Williamsburg, I'm here and I would love to help. It's never too early to get started, so call, text, or email anytime. You can also search for homes in Williamsburg by following the link in the description. Again, my name is David Tortellini, I'm with eXp Realty, and I'll see you in the next video.